Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Showtime Nerds. I'll be your host for this video. I'm Raph, aka Yes, and today we're going to be talking about Miss Marvel. We have our fellow hosts, Nova,
What's up, guys?
Grimo,
Hello.
and we have our officially promoted from intern, CosmicMidnighter, aka Zach.
Hey, all.
Okay, guys, so what I wanted to talk about first for the Miss Marvel episode was the intros, like how detailed it was. Like, what did you guys think of that? Because personally, for me, I absolutely loved it. Like they squeezed a whole you can tell they had a whole lot of ideas for the intro and they just kind of just were just like, yeah, you know what, fuck it. Put all of it in. And that's just how it went. And it was such a nice sequence. What did you guys think?
I thought it
It
was
was a
really
lot.
good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was also a lot and somewhat informing as well because it was small things that actually build up. Now we understand the involvement of Endgame and how everybody knows it and how we see all these documentaries about Endgame. It's because Scotland had a podcast and it was a brief line they mentioned in the intro, but it opens up so many things of why some things happen, like the play we saw in Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Mhm.
why we saw movies and documentaries, and what was it, Far From Home?
Yeah, I was in
Yeah,
Far
where
From
they
Home.
talk about all of like they coined the blip phrase, pretty
Yeah, they
Yeah,
much.
also they also talked about in Far From Home, like they had the statues of Tony Stark. It was like in the like he had documentaries about him and like the plane and stuff.
so it opens up a lot in understanding of how everybody really knows of what happened with Thanos and all. So it gives us a better understanding. And I like how they all put it in a cute montage of just a basic YouTuber, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. And she has her own YouTube channel too. That's fun.
Also, it's really good for like anybody who's just coming back to the series or interested. It kind of just like it does, I think, the best summarization of post Endgame events to date. Like I think Far From Home did it pretty okay, but it was a little choppy. But like this was really like, okay, you know where everybody and everything is at now, post Endgame. It's really, I thought that was really good that they were able to like contain all of that.
Honestly, I loved like the little animations that they did. It made it feel very, I guess, like two 2000s kids show type of thing where
Yeah, I felt the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
way.
I felt
yeah,
the same.
it's just like you see like the little animations and the paper animations and stuff like that, kind of like Paper Mario, and you see them transition from like 2D to 3D a little bit and like fold and go around. And I honestly, that was probably the best thing for me. I Some of the explanations to what happened after like Endgame and stuff were but those actually well done and well thought out. Like the team for that definitely deserves 100% full credit and praise because that was visually appealing. I loved every bit of it. It made me feel young again in a way, and it also made me like appreciate the animation and appreciate the people behind the scenes.
Yeah, the graphics was definitely top notch. I like how they continued it as well, like throughout the series. I
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to ask about like, do you guys think do you guys remember if they like when she mentioned Scott Lang on the podcast, do you think she knows that he's Ant-Man?
I
Well,
think that it's
it
like
showed
Scott
it
Lang
showed
Or was it like a
talking for
meme?
Ant-Man, I
it
think.
showed his icon. It was like
Yeah, yeah, it was just
big
regular.
me,
Okay.
little me, and it showed Ant Man with a microphone. So it's obviously known that Ant Man is Scott Lang
'Cause
now.
it was weird to me. It was weird to me like how she talked about it. She's just like he seems like a cool guy. I don't really like it, she's kind of talked about him like she didn't really know who he was.
Well,
It's
that's
because
basically the
yeah,
point of podcast
yeah, because
because like you kind of know the person and you kind of don't.
the thing
Yeah.
is with Ant-Man, for from remembering from the other movies and shit, he takes off his mask quite a lot. So it's hard for him to be an actual incognito hero, like Moon Knight for example and stuff like that because
Yeah.
he's giant and he takes off his mask.
Yeah, now and
Like
now especially because like he has the giant now because like he actually showed the giant form like in the final battle, like huge, like biggest he's ever been. It's kind of like weird to not recognize who Ant-Man is because like in Civil War, they're like who the fuck is it? Like in Endgame at the beginning of Endgame, they're kind of just like who's Ant-Man?
Yeah,
But
they're like,
it,
don't they go like, there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man? Like, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that's what Hulk says in like
yeah,
that
Infinity
was
War.
in that was Infinity War, yeah. So I wanted to ask about like the Captain Marvel thing because like as soon as they introed it, it was kind of I think we all have mixed interpretations of that because I remember Lewis saying something about um like they're over explaining like they're explaining Captain Marvel to be this greatest hero and stuff like that. But for me, when I was explaining it, when I interpreted it, I thought of it as more like, so this is really just grabbing the best like the best of the information you have, because it doesn't really seem like she really knows too much about Captain Marvel herself.
Yeah, they so what she said in the show is that we don't know much about Captain Marvel, but what we know from what Spider-Man has said and from what Ant-Man have said is that she came in, she punched Thanos, she did a bunch of cool stuff like destroy the ship, and a lot
She
of
was ready
people
about
are
This
yeah,
is
and
about a whole argument, bro.
and a lot of people were mad that she abandoned Earth and stuff, but you never know. We don't know what she did.
Mhm.
Therefore, she might have been doing other cool stuff. That's like a paraphrase of everything she said. So
Yeah,
they don't know much about Miss Marvel, but she's hyping up the things that she does know.
Yeah, I basically agree with that. It also comes to also interpretation of her that being her favorite superhero. Because if like Kate Bishop, she only saw the good sides of Hawkeye because she really loves Hawkeye.
Yeah, and she didn't know Hawkeye prior to the events of Hawkeye.
So you could always see it as some fangirl moment, being like, "Oh, I love Miss Marvel because of etc. etc." But she excludes the worst parts of Captain Marvel.
It's like a celebrity.
Yeah,
You
basically.
only talk about what you see in media. You never talk about what's behind the scenes because they're behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on.
yeah, I totally agree. I think that I really think that for Captain Marvel, like it, they explain it really well in a way that like it's really seems like in the MCU, like the only real role model for young girls like Kamala is Captain Marvel, because like Black Widow was more of a secret, but also she was like she was someone that not really many people looked up to, at least like shown now, because the only reference to Black Widow's death was at Avengers Con, and it was just in the sign. It wasn't really like anywhere else.
Well, there's references in other places. Like we got a little bit in
In Hawkeye.
Hawkeye,
In Hawkeye, yeah.
and
It had
I
to be in
think we
Hawkeye.
had
It doesn't
something
make
in the
sense if it
memorial
wasn't.
too. I'm
But
forgetting now, but there is one more time where they talked about her
yeah.
death, her
Well, the
passing.
thing is, in Miss Marvel, it wouldn't make too much sense to talk about Black Widow's death. Nobody in that entire show has
Yeah, it
ever
was only
met Black Widow, so it's like talking about a dead person from a different family that you barely know.
yeah. It just I'm just saying it made a lot of sense for like the MCU really made it make sense for Kamala to choose Captain Marvel of all people. Like of all the female superheroes that we have, Captain Marvel would definitely be the highest. Would definitely be the highest choice actually, because like the only people you other have is like Valkyrie, uh, Wasp, but you don't really know those characters because
Until
Valkyrie's in
recently, the Scarlet
New
Witch.
Asgard. Yeah, and as of recently Scarlet Witch, but I mean like you wouldn't really like, yeah,
Well, yeah,
especially depending on
I
what
know,
this takes
no, no,
place. I don't know.
no, hold on. I'll explain it for you because you're struggling, and I don't. All right, right. Valkyrie cannot be an icon for girls because, first of all, she was mainly outside of the realm of superheroes, and when she did appear, was only for the endgame
Only
battle,
for
so that
Valhalla, yeah.
other people. So you don't really have any information, and she didn't have a highlight moment like punching Thanos. Black Widow. I mean, Black Widow could have been a choice, but the thing is, she does kill. So I don't think you
Yeah,
want
yeah, yeah.
kids' role model to be a fucking shooter. And with Scarlet
It's funny.
Witch, I don't know what she could have been. Also another model. She could have been like top two at least because
I mean, it depends
she
on
was
when this movie takes
she
place.
It,
because
it,
she
it,
was in
What?
Civil War. She was in Age of Ultron. She's literally everywhere. And yeah, of course, it depends if they saw. But I doubt that she knows the
it
events
really
of
depends on
Doctor
the moment
Strange.
you pick for Scarlet Witch. Because if you really think about Scarlet Witch, they try to build her villain origin story from the very beginning. She was a
No,
villain,
but yeah, I
then
mean,
she
Yeah,
even
she
in
they
the
was
did.
the
persona, even in
cause
the
of
persona of
Lagos. Because she was the cause of Lagos, like she blew up a building and killed people. Like it really depends on how you want to see her as a role model.
yeah,
Yeah,
Even
they
because
though
like
it
kind
was an
even
accident,
even in the
it's
media,
still cause.
like even in all media, they portrayed Scarlet Witch as this villain, and the only thing you know about what's it called, about what was the town called in One Division,
Oh,
Westview.
Westfield.
Westview,
Yeah.
Westview.
Westview.
Even in Westview's point of view, like all you know is that she took over this small town. You don't know the resolution of what happened. Like all you know is that she trapped them, and eventually they were like, "Oh." You don't even know if it was really her. It was just in the media that she controlled this entire town, pure power, and that was it. So it's kind of hard to portray her. Like you can't really see her as a hero through the media. You have to
Honestly,
really get down to know her.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Sword is doing a terrible job at covering media. Think about it. Everything.
Sword is more like the Shield's little younger brother that doesn't really do much. I feel like damage
Yeah.
control that we got in that we'll talk about later, but like that we got in the Miss Marvel series. I feel like and No Way Home, I feel like they're doing a lot more proactive. They're also a lot more heavy-handed
Yeah,
in
but
the
look,
MCU.
when the hammer hit Earth, Mjolnir, and what's it called? Shield was on site trying to cover that shit up. They were, as soon as they saw people trying to mess with it, they were like, "No, get the fuck out of here. This is a secluded site." They barricaded everything. They made a big ass base on it, and they made people forget about the hammer until Thor came in, and he's like, "My hammer." And they're like, this fucking lameo. But like they actually were on site. They were doing shit. I feel with everything that's happening now, where the fuck, where the fuck is
Wait,
Sword?
hold up, Grim. You gotta forget one thing. In Captain America: Winter Soldier, Black Widow leaked a bunch of documents about Shield. So for the public,
Yeah,
there's
but
no like hiding and
Sword
being another
exists.
government. Yeah, but there's no hiding and being a government organization. You have to be out in the open, like damage control. You have to be at like the federal government, sort of. You can't be like the secret organization going around doing your own thing. It's like checks and balances kind of deal. Shield was great but purely because they were in the shadows. They didn't have anyone in their way. Didn't have to worry about visibility or anything. Damage control, Shield, they all have to worry, like, not Shield, Sword have to worry about visibility. They have to worry about people like Kamala that are listening and paying attention to the general world around them, and like all that the MCU has in store for them.
Bro, it's the government. You think they care?
Wait,
No,
wait, the
no,
government?
no,
No. I think that they're
no,
just not gonna
stop,
be.
no.
You think the
Bro,
American
you know
government
what?
You know what?
cares
All right, you know what?
that
Let's move on. Let's move on.
people think they know what the fuck they're doing? You think they care?
Put it this way. Let's go this route. The MCU's American government, yeah. I mean, maybe they do, maybe
It's
they
the
don't.
same
But
government. They're trying to make it quote unquote realistic to our current world just with superheroes.
I mean, that's the thing, though. That's what's funny about it too. Like Shield, Sword. Sword is the one that looks like a government facility. Like Shield doesn't look like it much at all.
no, they
It
look like
doesn't.
high tech, like spy organization
They look,
almost.
yeah, they look like their own private company. Like they look like their own private organization that's founded based off of like protecting people in like the spy way. But
Yeah, like
Sword, Sword,
espionage,
Sword feels like
research.
Sword
No,
really feels like that. It's like Sword really feels like that. Just like that government facility that everyone just like. I don't really want to work there.
You know what it reminded me of when they first showed it? It reminded me of the Hall of Justice from Flash. It reminded me of just this middle of nowhere like
Bruh.
place that people would go to. Sorry, that was just
Yeah.
my first interpretations of like it, because they were literally what Wanda had to drive God knows how low to just get there and then look at Vision's dead body.
Day 98 without sex. I haven't had sex in so long. I forgot how to moan. What if I fuck up and bark? Ruff ruff.
Let's talk about her powers. Actually, I really wanted to. I really wanted to break down what happened with her powers because when the trailer came out, everyone, including myself, we were all kind of upset that they were that they were going away from the stretchy powers route. Like the fact that her powers crystallized, like it just wasn't really her, and it really seemed like they were trying to dodge the Inhuman storyline, like in the comics. According to game theory, or according to his theory, there is a way for her to actually still be an Inhuman and for her to show her true power. With the bracelet we saw in this episode, there's a theory that that there is Terrigen crystals inside the bracelet, and when it breaks off, it will eventually show, like it'll amplify the Terrigen mist and give her and give her true power as like the elasticity,
I
and she will also become an Inhuman.
I disagree with that theory entirely. And
Why do you disagree?
I somewhat disagree, but I'm very hopeful.
no,
I'm very hopeful.
so from what we've seen in the past, gathering up information from Moon Knight, from Doctor Strange, from what they're trying to do with her, I feel like they want to do her more mystical. Jesus Christ, my English not very good looking. All right, they want to make her mystical as opposed to meta-human. You know that the DC terms.
Yeah, cosmic. Yeah.
Because when you look at it, when she put on the bracelet, she actually saw all of her ancestors. I don't think the Terrigen Mist could put you in the realm of Allah and make you see your ancestor in a cosmic way, and then take you back to Earth before anybody could even notice.
Okay, let's actually talk about that because I want to break down that scene where she sees
Well,
like her ancestors.
yeah. Let me finish, and
Go ahead.
so if it's Terrigen mist, it'd be more of a particle slash molecule acceleration and condensation where the powers just begin to mix up into her blood rather than it becoming like some sort of psychological thing. So I don't think they will even explore Terrigen mist. And what I think is that this bracelet is more of an ancestral power thing that maybe came from Allah or one of the followers,
Right.
and now gives powers, because when you see the mother obviously did not like the
She obviously,
bracelet because she knew. And if
yeah.
she doesn't have powers, then I don't think Kamala's gonna get powers forever. I think those bracelets will be the reason why Kamala will always have powers, and it's because like Moon Knight, it'll be something connected to the plane of their religions and belief. So we're gonna see another Moon Knight, just younger and without the violence.
Okay. I see I see what you mean. I think that for well my interpretation of it, I was kind of bridging both of those because I like Lewis when Lewis said that they were I personally thought like or I was very hopeful that the people that she saw in the back were the Inhumans, like were the Inhumans because it was also on another planet. Like it was also in another plane. So I thought it was going to be the Inhumans. But when Lewis told me that, hey, maybe it's going to like that, it's definitely their ancestors. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But if they introduce the Terrigen crystal this way, like if they introduce the Terrigen crystal this way into her family, like through the generations, it just furthers along the Inhuman storyline. Like saying that that has been in like it has been potential in her blood for several like for generations of her family for thousands of years, so that the Inhumans actually do have a placeholder in the MCU, and like it's been like that way for a long time. It also sets apart the fact that for her family, it's been a like she has history with the Inhumans along that line, so she can connect if they introduce the Inhumans later on again. Because in the comics, I don't even remember I don't even remember her family having an Inhuman storyline.
They
Like it
do,
was
they
mainly
don't.
just her.
Yeah, they don't. She
It
was
was
the
mainly just
only.
her.
She was the only one that got hit by it, and from
But
reading
it's
like
also genetic though. Like, but the Inhuman gene is like it's genetic. The activation is genetic. So you like just because one person has it doesn't mean that her kids won't have it. Maybe her cousins have it. Maybe her brothers have it. Maybe her brother has it. Like it's always been genetic. So
yeah,
it's not like so just because she's the only one exposed to it and she's the only one with inhuman powers doesn't necessarily mean that her family were could not have been exposed to it and could not have powers.
the thing is, I don't think they want to do an Inhuman storyline at all.
I'm very scared.
The
I'm very
last thing,
scared about that.
the last thing that they showed Inhuman was Black Bolt, and we saw what the fuck happened to him. So I think they're cutting down. Plus, if you see at what the slate for Marvel is, they have nothing Inhuman. They have a Fantastic Four film coming up, so we know that Fantastic Four is on priority list, and we know
True.
that John Krasinski is gonna be there. So the fact that they're not even touching Inhumans at all for any time soon, I don't think they want to touch it at all.
It would
I
be
think they're
such
just
a
gonna
yeah.
I have
put
That's
it
a good
under the
point.
carpet. Yeah.
I have a theory for how they might introduce Inhumans, but this is a little bit of like string of thought, but just to bear with me for a second. So we have Kamala Khan, and we know that there's going to be a movie called The Marvels, which most likely, at least it makes sense, if it was all three of the current versions of Captain Marvel that we know, Monica Rambeau, and now Kamala Khan. What if, when we know Sword exists, and they work closely with Captain Marvel because, well, Fury, and so what if what they're dealing with might be the Inhumans, because we know they operate their own space on their own technically island that they created, and there's different branches of the Inhumans that exist in the MCU. So what if this is how they pull her into, like it becomes related because of her DNA and that fact that she likes Captain Marvel?
Well, that's assuming the opposite of what Grimm said, because Grimm said like it doesn't seem like they're going the Inhuman route at all, like not at all.
Because think about it.
They've
Look,
pulled things out from under the rug for us for a while, but I'm agreeing. Yes, they haven't done anything, but it's not that they couldn't do it if they wanted to, because they have introduced. They didn't need to introduce Black Bolt.
Yeah,
They
it's just
changed
a,
almost
it's just
half the Illuminati roster
I just think it's
completely.
I just think it's such a huge waste. Like it's like her powers is one thing, but like the Inhumans is another. Because the Inhumans is much bigger. It's like
yeah,
it's a much bigger story than just her powers.
They sort of already have a route that they want to take, and again, this is the 616 in the MC, like in the movies wise. This has nothing to do with the comics. So in theory, they could change anything however they want because it's their own
Yeah.
realm. It's all right, so I'm gonna get a little very nerdy and weird here. So in Fortnite, there's this thing called the 0 point, and it's basically like a web of realities where the Fortnite universe is quote unquote the center of all universe, but every universe has its own multiverse. So assuming that, we could assume with what's happening here is that the MCU, it's its own world with its own multiverse, and within its own multiverse is the comic world. Oh, well, the comic, 616, which has its own multiverse as well. And in some ways they overlap, but they're not entirely connected. It's almost like the little Venn diagram where there's two circles and they sort of have points where they connect and stuff, but that doesn't mean they're connected at all, or so it's sort of like that. And so the Inhumans, if they don't want to touch it, which is what seems is like what's gonna happen, then they will not, because we've seen a lot of changes from comic books that have never been rearranged. We've never seen, like, once we saw a character get canceled or taken out, it is done for. There's no they're gonna come back or anything like that. So
Yeah, if they don't introduce Miss Marvel as an Inhuman now,
yeah,
doing it later is just gonna be so much worse for them. Like if they don't decide to do it right now and use her as a bridge to the Inhumans, which is a perfect opportunity to, it's gonna be so much more difficult unless you're gonna reintroduce the Inhumans again, like the actual Inhumans with Black Bolt and Medusa. Unless you reintroduce them, it becomes a lot harder to introduce the Inhumans as this whole thing, because it's not just them that are Inhuman. Like there's like Inferno inside on world. Like they don't just go to
There's plenty of
yeah,
different
like they don't
heroes.
just go to
There's the actual Inhuman
it's
royal family. It goes on. Like
yeah,
the
it's
list
not
goes
just
on.
at Adelan. It's also on strict, like on the streets type thing. It's not even it's like all over the world and all over other worlds as well.
yeah,
It's
like
not
the Kree have shared
yeah.
blood with the Inhumans. And when we got to see the Kree in the MCU, there was no mention of Inhuman DNA. There's no mention of Terrigen Mist. There's no mention of how they could be connected to Earth. They seem so alienated that it almost makes sense why they wouldn't like Earthlings that much. So
Well, you also brought up another good point though. Like the Kree have done tests with their blood on humans. We have that in Captain Marvel, like the fact that she's part Kree and part human because of like the incident that gave her powers. So it's like they could it's
Yeah, I'm
a
thinking about it.
really could they
but
could they not, like it's their choice
it
kind of
wouldn't
thing.
be something that they're, because if they already wanted to work on that, they would have. If they wanted to, they would have. And the fact that we have movies all the way up until 2025 and not one of them includes any sort of Inhuman other than Miss Marvel, but as from what we can see, she looks more mystical. I don't think they will.
It'd be a shame though. It'd be a really waste of opportunity because the Inhumans are really good and they provide a lot of like intergalactic texture to the MCU that we don't really get. Like all we've got from that is like Captain Marvel, Guardians, and the Eternals barely. Like there's not much in the way of cosmic MCU that we have too much of. So they should. I don't know. I just feel they really should try to
They should, but it's just what they have their own slate, they have their own storyboard of how they want things to happen, and it's sad that there's gonna be a lot of cuts for our favorite heroes. Hey, at least we get some of them, unlike DC.
It's morbid time, boys.
So there's also some parts of the credits that we see Captain Marvel a lot. We see Captain Marvel going into her guess uniform or costume into it. We also see her stretchy hand. We also see some connections with Hawkeye, with Trustabro. If you guys don't know what Trustabro is, it's the Kingpin organization with those Russian guys who always say bro. And I want to see what you guys think about it.
Honestly, I thought those are really nice details that they included, especially because now the New York aspect of the MCU is becoming more detailed and integral to the story. I thought it was really good. Like also the fact that they put those like not animations but like street art around for her, I thought was really nice. Like it just adds more texture to her as a character and potential too.
I didn't have time to see the end credits. I had to go do something.
Damn. Well, then you're the perfect
Yeah.
person to go back and take a look and see what you think.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping for, and that's what Marvel has been doing with other credits as well, is that they put little hints of what's going to happen in the show within the credits, and we saw it a lot in Moon Knight, some Hawkeye stuff, and that's what I'm hoping for the show. And to continue what we were talking about before with the Kieran crystals and the mist of her actually getting her powers, I'm hoping that's like a small resemblance of what we can see later down in the series. And what do you guys think about that? If we actually do see it actually happen, because sometimes credits can always hint at what's going to be to come.
So you're saying that she actually gets her powers the way she has them in the comics, like
Well,
humanoid
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
stretch?
saying. That's what I'm saying. Because that's why I always what we mentioned with game theory of the Kieran crystals of
Yeah.
how she got her powers
Origin.
and Kieran
Yeah.
and us seeing that in the credits. Because in past credit scenes with other shows like Hawkeye, Moon Knight, it always gave us a hint of what's to come in the series and how the series is basically going to play out.
I didn't see that much with Moon Knight.
Moon Knight gave a little bit of hints, but they were very vague. This feels more definitive, like what we're talking about now. Like, oh,
Yes,
there's
just
so much
because Moon Knight was
potential.
giving more. Moon
They
Knight was
put a
giving
lot of
more of a
they also,
mystery vibe.
Yeah,
yeah.
Moon
They also
Knight
put
with the
That's
credits of
that
Moon
was the
Knight, it
point.
was a lot of art and just like sort of concept art and the world of Moon Knight without anything too crazy behind it.
I feel like this is more like Kamala Khan's end credits is more akin to like Hawkeye or maybe like did the Winter Soldier like Falcon and the Winter Soldier have that? I think they
Yeah,
kind of did.
they also had that. They talked about the future of Power Broker. They're also
Yeah.
more of John Wick becoming evil or like and some parts of that. That's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes the credits actually help us understand the story more or like see what we can predict from it.
Yeah, that's a very Marvel thing to do too, because end credits are their specialty. Like that's the best thing that they have in their arsenal. Is just like luring us in with more details that we all look for.
I want to talk about how this is officially the first what is it, G-rated show like that Marvel has produced. This is the
Seriously?
first.
It's
Yeah,
G?
yeah, it is G.
Wow.
I could tell. I could
And you,
definitely tell.
yeah,
You can
it's
tell,
so
but
nice.
like it's very like wow. They find that's I didn't know.
It's super nice though. Like it really is. This is really a coming of age story, and you can tell that from the beginning. I loved Kamala Khan's character in this. I love how excited she is, like as a representative of like nerds everywhere. I felt really good to feel that way. Like how like kind of kiddie she is about it, how like shy she is about it. It's really nice to see, and it's like as a nerd and as a personal fan of Miss Marvel, even from the comics, like I really enjoyed watching, like watching her nerd out over things. It was fun. What did you guys
It
think?
you can tell that they very much tried to go like appeal to like not Gen Z, but just like a younger audience with this. Like it didn't have to be people who are older and have seen all forms of like comic media. It's more like the people that grew up with like having like the original Avengers, Age of Ultron, like those kids come into seeing now this version of what a superhero can be. It's really nice.
I'm
They
not.
definitely nailed it.
I'm not gonna lie. It is not for me, but I'll
The kiddie
force it
aspect.
because it's just like I love
The
what
kid,
they're
but like
doing.
high
No,
school.
trust me, I love the concept. I love how they're portraying Miss Marvel, except for the powers. But I love what they're doing story wise and stuff like that. It's just not for me. I guess I need more of a adult type of story or some very interconnected, crazy shit other than this. But it is a nice break, obviously, and it is something for other genre of people who are still young or are young now and that need a show for kids because again, Marvel did start with kid shows and comics obviously they started out wanting to be adults, but the way the age took and the government and all the monetary, they had to appeal to kids because they would be the people buying it, telling their parents, "Hey, mom, buy me this comic from this cool character." And so obviously this is for kids and for younger audience. So it's not for me, but I do love the concepts. Whoa, holy fuck, por favor, right? I do love the concepts and I do love what they're doing and stuff like that. It's just I won't be pleased by the episodes. I'll be pleased by what they're doing in the episodes.
It's fair. That's a very like mature approach, and I feel the same way about you, dude. Like, I loved Moon Knight for how mature it was. Same thing with Daredevil when it first came out. It was so nice and cool and mature and like
It wasn't
gritty
mature.
in that way.
Moon Knight was not mature enough.
I mean, it wasn't mature enough. We can all agree that, but it's more mature than most MCU projects. Like, it's definitely pushing closer to the boundaries of stuff. But like this is a nice break. It is very kid, but like I feel like that's at some point we all have to like take a step back and stop being so like I don't know, maybe dark, because the MCU can get very dark. We saw that with WandaVision. We saw that with Multiverse of Madness. We
Yeah.
see that with a bunch of different stories. They'll just like play on top of one another, and it gets a little maybe it gets a little depressing with
I feel
stuff.
like Miss Marvel was I feel like this show is like Hawkeye, but taken to another step. Like it's in the inspiration of like for Kate Bishop's story in Hawkeye, it was like she was inspired by her hero, and she wanted to become just like him. But like she's always asking for help and stuff like that. So it didn't feel as independent. But for Miss Marvel, it really is more of a coming of age story with her, and it's more personal. It's more independent. It's more about just her,
And
and it makes it a lot better that way.
we did have reference to that because remember when she was trying on the outfit and her mom and the other friend were gossiping about the girl that wanted to explore herself, and she was like, "That's cool because that's what she wants to do. That's what exactly what Kamala is feeling. She wants to explore herself. She wants to get to learn. Oh my fucking god! She wants to learn who Kamala is, and so it's this perfect time and placement for a character so that kids that are also her age feel that same type of vibe. They're 16-year-old, 15-year-old saying, "Who am I? And what do I want to leave on this world?" And that's what Kamala's perfect for. She's perfect for those kids that are still trying to experience themselves, that are still trying to learn new things. But for people like me who already have years of that, it's like, oh, it's cool, and I get to see other people go through it, but it's not about me. It's about them, and that's what I appreciate, that they're trying to appeal to their actual audience, the new audience.
That's a really good take, Grim. I
Thank
like
you,
Yeah.
that.
thank you.
For me, it just reminded me of my childhood basically. Because it reminded me a lot with Lizzie McGuire show,
Yeah.
where the animations in the
Yes,
background, see
that's
within in
that's
the
what I had in
cat.
mind. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah,
was thinking of the show. I was like, what the fuck is the name of the show? You just reminded me.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. So we see that a lot. Like when she's like going down the street, we see all these versions of Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange Marvel, the Iron Marvel, the
Oh yeah, they
Princess
do a
Marvel,
lot of
Zombies
variations.
Marvel. Yeah, so we see a lot of that, and we just see that play in our mind. And there's also some small animations with her texting Bruno, where we see the
They made the
text
graphics
messages.
team work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but hey, but it
and that
paid
was
off
all
because it
in
looks
one
good.
shot too.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
like in
all in
one
one.
scene.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Marvel, you fucking killed it with the animation for this show. You fucking threw it out of the park. There is not a single moment where it was bad, animation and viewing wise. I mean, story was good too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying for the animation, it was like 100 out of 10. This was out of the fucking park.
I actually sent a meme to Raf about the animations because we both can like I think we all can appreciate animation as we've gotten older, but like it was just on like basically like the actual it was like, oh, the Marvel animation team, how big do you want this to be? And they're like, Marvel, yes. And then we got all of this. It's
Yeah,
great. It's like the Miss Marvel intro, like just where it's like different comic book layers drawing and sketching, and it's very Kamala centric. That's really great. Like it's really well played. It's not like, oh, a giant billboard that's or image that's just supposed to show
I don't think
her
it's too much either.
title.
It blends
Yeah,
in well.
it blends to her. It's very unique and well suited for her.
I want to talk about the New Jersey representation because
Oh, here we go.
we so for those who don't know, we are all people from New Jersey. We all grew up here, and Miss Marvel is from Jersey City, and we got to watch her walk around the streets and stuff like that in New Jersey. I gotta say, as a as someone from New Jersey, it kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. It's not, it didn't look like Jersey City to me. It was my brother said it earlier. My brother said it when he watched it. Just like that's not Jersey City. It's too clean. I just
Bro,
died
It's
laughing.
very. Oh, they got. You know what is the shittiest part though? The one thing that they got right from Jersey City is when they get on the bus.
The bike
And the
though.
bike,
What are the odds
yeah,
of
and the
bike?
bike, yeah.
And he's like 0.0001%. I'm like, okay, that's the only accurate thing that they said about the town.
That was the
And
most
one
accurate
thing,
New
and it's
Jersey
the
representation.
shit part. But honestly, actually, the part where it said "Welcome to Jersey City," that's a nice touch. When she gets in the car at the very beginning, that is a very nice touch, though. I'll give them credit for that. Not as much; they haven't done enough to represent the place, but that's one good thing that I can throw them a bone
and
for.
not only that, when they went to like the Pakistan little market area, I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt kind of empty because as someone who like I've been to Jersey City, I've been to Newark,
Yeah.
I've been to like a bunch of places up here in the north, well, North Jersey. It is very packed all the fucking
That's what I'm
time.
saying, bro.
Like there is people everywhere on a fucking Monday morning.
Yeah.
Shit would be packed. Where the fuck is the packery in
That's what I'm
this show?
saying,
Like
bro.
this shit in the fucking when she was trying on the dress, there should have been like 100 people deep in that shit. Like there was nobody.
They underrepresented the amount of representation that Jersey City already has.
Yeah.
Because Jersey City is
That's
packed with diversity.
Yes, it
Like-
is. It is. Oh my god, there's people everywhere. It feels
Bro.
like the whole town is made out of people, not even buildings
Bro,
anymore.
as a Filipino, I was upset because I'm like, yo, there's like 4 streets named after streets in the Philippines. Like there's Manila City there's Manila Street over there. Where the hell are the Filipinos at? Everyone's white.
Yeah,
And
bro.
then there's just the
That's
two
very
Pakistani.
Time out. Can I talk about that real quick?
Go ahead.
Bro, all right. In my mind, I didn't want to be a little bit of an asshole, but in my mind, as I'm watching the show, I'm thinking, why does her best friend have to be white? Especially in Jersey City. Bro.
Well, she does have another best friend.
No, I know, but it makes no sense in Jersey City. The amount of minority culture is the highest in Jersey City and Newark. So the fact that she lives in Jersey City and then they just like slid in a white dude for no reason, it kind of feels a little bit like they're trying to pull away from us minorities because he could have been black. There's a lot of black people in Jersey City. There's a lot of Asian people. There's a lot of Hispanics in Jersey City. He could have been any other race. And I'm not saying anything bad for the actor. I'm just saying you're doing a story. Well, Dios mío. You're doing a story of a minority lead who's female, but you somehow have to white people. Like just keep it minority. There doesn't have to be any. Wait,
More realistic that way too. Like
Or
exactly.
even
if
better,
you go to Jersey City, where are you gonna see that?
you know, even better, if they're gonna do it, they should do it like a group of 3 or 4, or like 4 or 5, where they can have one
Yeah,
white guy.
yeah, one white guy.
Just have all the different melting pot that is
Exactly,
Jersey City.
exactly.
Well, wasn't
For
Bruno,
those that don't know,
wasn't
Jersey
Bruno white in the
being-
comic?
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it
This-
up because I don't know. He probably is, but
I mean,
like
but-
the thing.
Look at the
The
many
thing about-
race changes that they've done, and nobody like well, I mean, obviously some people complain that of racism, but I'm just saying like to make Jersey City feel real, you have to understand that Jersey City itself is highly minority demographics. So if you start adding people, that aren't from the minority demographic, it just starts feeling like you're trying to whitewash it a little bit. Like you're taking away from what Jersey City's supposed to be.
He is Italian American, but
Yeah.
they make him look a lot more like related to Italian representation more than he is white.
So,
You're talking about in
so
the comics
he's
or in the
also a
actual
minority
live
in the
action?
comics. No, in the live action, he's like you, Zach.
Bro, I'm not that white.
I saw when I saw him, I saw you.
Bro,
Except shorter.
come
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Yeah, like it's just this is very energetic, geeky white boy that you just know randomly.
you know what?
That's-
I'll take
Yeah.
that as a compliment, but I don't like how you said that.
No, because I say it with true Zach. I say it with the spice.
Yeah, sure. All right, that's fair though. Because like, dude, though. But for those that don't know, Jersey, however, whatever you may think of it, Jersey is a very diverse state. We have a lot. Like,
it
you
kinda
go
is, like-
anywhere over, it's very
kind of-
diverse in different towns.
Breno is kind of like Zach actually. He's both Catholic, and his grandparents were immigrants from Europe. You know,
True.
Yo, that's Zach.
Yeah, that's true.
But look,
Yes,
no,
Zach.
but
Yeah,
look at the
that's
team.
pretty accurate.
It's funny. Look at the team, right? We have 2 Hispanics, 1 Filipino, and 1 white. And the show is 1 white and Pakistan. Bro, like, they ignored all the
your-
other
what's your,
diversity. They just put the white guy in.
What's her best friend? The other girl that's her best friend. I don't remember her name right
I
now.
believe she's Pakistani as well.
Okay,
She
then that's
is.
perfect. Then it's even more representation because you
The
have
thing
actual
we're getting
friend
at is that
group.
we didn't see her as much. They put a big emphasis of Bruno.
She's
and
more like a
her.
family friend than anything. She was more like
Hey, it
the
still
casual
counts. It
friend.
still counts to creating
Oh, and
a
the
look
No,
for
it doesn't. It's
people
like
to
back.
know.
oh, and why is
It's
the
like
bully always a
Even if
white?
it's family,
That's like
that's a true.
saying
That's
if I go to
Ralph.
work with my best friend and there's someone else that said hi to me, and you count that as a best friend. That's
yeah,
No,
basically what
that
you're
no,
doesn't
saying.
that
count.
is
Yeah.
not true. That is not true.
No, and Zach, think about it this way: why are you making the other minority a background character?
Do you feel she's a background character? I don't. I think
We
it's just
didn't
because of the
see
first
much at
episode.
all.
I'm pretty sure we only saw 2 scenes of her.
Yeah, and Bruno. I mean, obviously Bruno's a big part of Kamala Khan's life, but it's just like we saw Bruno everywhere, and we didn't see her much.
Bro, I
She
want to
was
talk
just
about the
there.
bully.
All right, all
The
right.
what? The family?
Why
the
is the
bully.
bully always? Why is the bully
Who's the
always a
bully?
white girl? Like a white
Individual?
blonde girl, like a white
Oh?
blonde girl. It's always a white blonde girl. It was the same thing in Stranger Things. I swear, I've seen this thing like twice, like
Bro,
2 weeks in a
I
row.
don't think she's a
It's a
bully
trope.
though. I
It's
don't
a
think
trope
she's
of
a bully.
That's
It's
the
a trope of
American
American
dream.
culture. It's a
That's
trope.
the American dream. To be a bully,
Ah.
you must be white.
Hey! You have no. It's the trope of America. Don't go lumping us all in.
No,
Come on.
I know. I'm just kidding. Cause what's it called? When I grew up, when I first moved to this
It was the
country,
same thing in The Amazing Spider-Man, though.
I was bullied by a Cuban white American dude. So he was saying like, "Oh, you can't hang out." Like it was the most racist shit. Even though he was Hispanic too, but he didn't speak Spanish, so I guess it was like more of a him trying to catch up. But he was blonde too, so it's just kind of funny how white blonde people are the first to tell you like, "Yo, get the fuck off of here."
Yeah, it's not great.
It's a kick in the balls. Zach, you
Oosh.
know what? I'm gonna kick you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just, it's,
Oh, all right.
just-
I know
it's just-
we can joke because we're best friends, but yeah, it does happen
just
way
rep-
too often. I feel.
it's just
I agree.
I think it's just representation. You know, they have to represent the realistic.
You know what? Hey, you can't. That's one thing I'll give you. You can't say it's not realistic. Sad to say, but it is true.
No, but there's also
Oh.
like Hispanics and other races that are bullies. I'm getting
Oh, yeah,
tired
it
of the
doesn't
white
have a- it
the
doesn't
white
have a-
person being the bully.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 was a registered 6 offender.
What do you guys think about the first post-credit scene we've seen in a long time? In the first episode.
Mm.
Oh, dude, I'm surprised they put it in the
In
first
the intro
episode.
too. In the intro episode too. That's actually unique too. First time.
For the people who haven't watched the post-credit scene of Miss Marvel, it's the gentleman from Damage Control and No Way Home, and he returns seeing a video of Kamala Khan using her powers, and he says, "Let's go get her," and that's where the episode ends off at.
Oh damn, I missed a lot. I I wish I wasn't so busy.
Grim,
I didn't see
that's
the.
literally it. They hold up a phone, and for a little more context, they hold up a phone. It's a video of her as if somebody took it for social media, and they just like, all
Yeah,
right,
it was a video of
that
her at
looks
Avengers
suspicious,
Con.
let's go get that, and then like that's it. I shouldn't say it like that. Let's go get the kid. Like that's it.
Yo, hold on.
Hey, yo!
That's-
I know. I
that's-
just don't want it to sound that
Hold
bad.
on, time out. That's gotta be racist. Why are you calling a minority
come
kid
on.
that?
Oh, come on. No, I just meant how he literally made it sound like, all right, we got to go get this person, this this powered individual. Like,
Grim, he's a host now. We can't cancel him.
oh, come on. Guys. All right, yeah. I'll let you guys have fun. It's
you
fine.
have value to us now.
For the post-credit scene, for me, I think it's a little bit weird. The main thing I want to talk about with the post-credit scene is that I find it a little bit weird because it's not they're bringing her in because she has powers, but like is it just because of that fact? Is it because they know something that she doesn't? Is it because like there's a story like it just already feels like Damage Control knows that there are several people. It seems like a recurring theme. Like it seems like there have been people with powers before that Damage Control has taken in. So what is that going to be? Is Damage Control going to be the main villain in this story? Like in this story, are they going to be the ones trying to bring her in, and she's just trying not to go? Like it's very omnidirectional in this case.
Well, we're kind of seeing through Damage Control what everyone wanted to see from the Sokovia Accords. Like this is it put into practice. Like you're registering heroes, you're figuring out who they are. Same thing what they did with the Spider-Man. Like it's
Yeah, it would make
becoming like
sense.
they're like kind of a government oversight type deal that they're trying to pull within the MCU. It's really
yeah.
like targeted towards young, like not younger, but just not very high profile heroes. Like they wouldn't be going over our newly minted Captain America for this. They're going to go after like Spider-Man or Kamala Khan or some smaller, not to like diss them, but
Maybe they're just on the East
less high
Coast.
profile.
Maybe they're just on the East Coast. Who knows? But
Well, it's the government.
but I mean, it would make sense for the damage control. Like, we don't really know much about damage control themselves either. We just know their name and like the white dude with the beard, and that's pretty much it. But like, that's pretty much
we
all we
don't
know.
have a name for him. I don't think
We
they
don't-
gave us his like
we don't know.
official agent title or whatever.
Character, white dude with a beard, age unknown, everything else unknown, just white dude with a beard.
Just the character description. Like, who is damage control? Like, what do we know about them? We don't really know anything about them. They just came in and took Peter Parker and No Way Home, and that was it. But now we probably could see that right now if that's the route that they're taking, and it seems like it is. But it really feels like it would be weird for me to see them as like this villain, but it's a very coming of the age type story that I feel like they're gonna do. It feels like the route that they're taking, you know?
It's
We've
because-
seen like organizations like Shield be the villain. Hell, we've seen Sword be the villain. Like, it's not a new concept for an agency to be the antagonist in this case.
especially when they're connected to the government. Anyways, what's it called? I mean, the thing is, right? We also have heroes that, you know, they. So, all right. Let me begin with a little overview. The Avengers were kind of accepted too quick, only because the world was threatened. Right? We saw Loki come in. We saw the Guardians having their problem. So there was so many things why the Avengers were needed. But now, after Endgame, there's sort of no real reason for heroes, because everything that the government or the police cannot handle is not coming anytime soon. So I guess this is like their way of gathering their loose ends. They allowed the heroes to be heroes, and now that they've done what they have to do, which is take care of the big guns, now they could just kind of cut their loose ends and just go back to the government being in control, rather than these heroes doing all these things that nobody else could stop them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
now
think
they
you're
can-
very much right with like.
Yeah,
that
they can stop them
let-
before it gets too big and stuff like that.
They let heroes run their show for a while, and now they're like, all right, let's give this a little more oversight.
Back it up,
and try and
baby.
make it more.
We're going to Jersey City.
Yeah.
We should actually do a vlog at Jersey City. Just like, this is what it looks like, people.
Yeah.
Bro,
Hey.
I got you. I'll take you to the best places.
All right, so what did you guys think? What is your overall rating of the Miss Marvel intro episode? Let's start with Zach.
Okay, so purely because of how much I liked the tonal change that they did, I'm gonna go at a 9, which I haven't really thought about rating it that high since probably WandaVision or Loki. Like, this was pretty good for an opening episode.
Well, it's not lying.
that
Moon Knight's
didn't
opening
need-
episode was good too.
Yeah,
I
Moon
mean,
Knight's,
yeah, but it
Moon
was-
Knight's first episode was really
Mo-
good.
It was really good, but it was very contingent on like the rest of the series being good. It kind of sets the tone for the entire series. Like, we get that this is going to be who she's going to be for the rest of the series, and I love it. Like, I have no problems with it. I'm not worried unless they pull some random upset in the middle. I really like this going forward so far. So yeah, 9 for me.
All right, what about you, Grim?
I have 2 reviews, obviously. As you know, as someone who appreciated everything they've done, I'll go up with Zach and I'll put it like 8.5, 8, right? And as me personally, as someone who really didn't enjoy like certain things because I'm way past that stage, I'd say for me it's a 4. But as someone that appreciated the art and what they try to do, I do give it an 8.5.
Oh, that's fair. Lewis, what about you?
I'm giving it a 10.
Oh wow.
Nice.
That's a
Straight
perfect.
10.
Hey, we need to have like a little bell for when someone says 10, because that's rare.
That is rare. We've all been very opinionated about it throughout
Everything
the
checked all the
entirety of
everything
our
checked all the
reviews,
boxes.
so
Everything checked all the boxes, Lewis.
Pretty
Everything?
much. It gave you a good animation style, something that we haven't seen a lot. Actually getting into the mindset of Kamala Khan, and the actress plays that role perfectly.
Yeah, she was
knows what
perfect
Yeah,
for this
she's
she
role.
doing.
does. She does. She
She
does.
knows what she's doing. I think she actually interprets the character better than some people.
Oh, throwing shots.
Woof.
Yeah.
no,
So,
the actress is really
Because
does a
she
really good
really
job.
is. She's a Marvel comic book fan. Like, she's an actual fan, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh shit! See what happens when you have people read their characters and shit. Oh.
Hey,
No.
shout out to Doctor Strange who read the comic book before he started acting for the role.
No,
There's-
yeah, I know.
No,
I
he
know.
did it in the
actors.
middle of the role. What are you talking about? He went to a comic book.
I remember it in the middle of the role.
Yeah,
I do
but-
remember. But
but
there
the
are
act-
those
the
that are very
actress read
diligent,
her
and then there are
whole
those
life.
that just go with the role.
the actress read her whole life. So
Yeah, she's been a
I-
fan for a long time.
yeah, so that just plays in more to the factor. I can't wait to see what else we see throughout the series. But honestly, it did pretty good as the actual intro of her
Yeah,
character.
I agree.
Hey, ding, ding, ding,
Alright.
ding, ding, ding. 10 out of 10. Nice.
All right, so for my rating, I give it like a 9.5 and 9. I really want to give it a 10, but I have to knock points off for that jersey representation. I have to.
That's
Like,
fair. I do it for the same. I do it for
if
that.
I
and
wasn't from New
human
Jersey,
powers.
if I wasn't from New Jersey, I would give it a 10.
Hey,
But, like,
no.
that jersey representation just knocked it for me.
I'm gonna tell the viewers something because I know something that they didn't. This man was ready to knock off this show mainly because they changed the
Yeah.
powers. So
Yeah,
him
I was
saying
ready
it's
to-
a 9.5, it is really important for you to know that. This
I was
show
ready to shit on
is
this show.
good. This show is fucking good when he says 9.5.
man that was gonna rain on Shazam.
Bro, this man was gonna fucking fight everybody at Marvel if they ruined Miss Marvel, and he's fucking giving it a 9.5.
Yeah, this was like one of
You
my
have a true
favorite.
super fan.
This is one of my favorite. Yeah, Miss Marvel is one of my favorite Marvel characters, like absolute favorites. And if they fucked her up, I would have actually went on him. Like, I would have been so pissed. I would have sent emails out like, "Yo, what did you do?"
Very
Yeah, like-
polite hate mail.
It's like very polite. Like, just I'm not gonna spam anybody. Just like straight to Kevin Feige. Yo, what did you do?
No, but it's good though that we keep the MCU, and no matter how big they get, we keep them honest. That they don't just throw anything at the wall and be like, "All right, now you guys can take it." They don't pull a Warner Brothers on us and just be like, "Oh yeah, this is all you guys are getting." Like,
What-
no, we should demand perfection from the studio that's gonna be
The only reason
so hyped up.
The only reason I took half a point off for the New Jersey representation is because I know I wasn't expecting that much Jersey representation. It was more like, okay, let's just see this. Let's see how this goes type thing. It wasn't like I was expecting like full representation of Jersey City. It was just kind of like okay, let's see what you got, Marvel. Let's see what how you portray Jersey City. Let's see it.
It was
Do you
It's cleaner.
think though? Do you
it
think
It's
though
cleaner
that
in the
they're gonna
movie. It's cleaner in the
change?
show.
Do you think though that they're gonna change as we go on?
Nope.
Oh,
Isn't it?
okay.
Nope. The representation. Nope. That's how it is.
It's because it's movies, and obviously in movies
Yeah.
they have to be a little bit cleaner and stuff. Which, I mean, obviously it appeals to other people, but for people that been living here,
we're-
it's like,
we're
yeah,
from
nah.
Jersey, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We know what's up. That shit ain't it, bro. All right.
I think that's a good way to wrap up the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.